At 2:45 p.m., Marcus stood outside the Riverside City Hall. His stomach was in knots. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. He'd thrown up twice in the past hour. The press had gathered. Cameras everywhere. Reporters with microphones. Citizens with phones recording. A crowd had formed. Some holding signs. Justice for Diana Foster. Fire racist cops. We see you, Reed. Marcus took a breath. Agent Foster appeared beside him. She didn't say anything. Just nodded once. Then she walked to the podium. "Thank you for coming," she said into the microphone. "Former Officer Marcus Reed has asked to make a statement. He will not be taking questions. He is here solely to address his actions and their impact." She stepped aside, looked at Marcus. This was it. Marcus walked to the podium. The crowd noise swelled. Boos. Shouts. Someone threw something. A plastic bottle. It hit the ground near his feet. He gripped the podium, looked at the paper in his hands. The words he'd written and rewritten 100 times. "My name is Marcus Reed," he began. His voice cracked. He cleared his throat. Started again. "My name is Marcus Reed. 2 days ago, I pulled a gun on FBI Special Agent Diana Foster while she was sitting in her car reading a newspaper. I had no valid reason. No probable cause. No justification." He paused. The crowd was listening now. Silent. "I want to explain why I did it. But the truth is, there is no explanation that makes it okay. There's no excuse. No justification. I did it because..." He looked up from the paper. "I did it because when I saw a black woman in a car in that neighborhood, I made assumptions. Bad assumptions. Racist assumptions." Someone in the crowd shouted. Marcus couldn't make out the words. "I told myself for years that I wasn't racist. That I treated everyone the same. That I was just doing my job. But I was lying. To everyone. To myself." His hands gripped the paper tighter. "The video you've all seen, that's not just one bad moment. That's 12 years of bad moments. 12 years of stops I shouldn't have made. Searches I shouldn't have conducted. Threats I shouldn't have issued. All against black people. All because of my bias. My fear. My prejudice." He looked into the cameras. Into the eyes of the people watching. "I hurt people. Darren Mitchell. Raymond Foster. Dr. Amara Thompson. Marcus Williams. And countless others whose names I don't even remember. People who were just living their lives. Who weren't doing anything wrong. But I treated them like criminals anyway. Because of the color of their skin." His voice broke. "There's a young man, his name is Marcus Williams. When he was 16 years old, my father arrested him for a crime he didn't commit. Marcus Williams spent 4 years locked up. 4 years of his childhood, stolen. Because my father made the same mistakes I made. Saw a young black teenager and assumed guilt." Marcus looked down at his paper. The words were blurring. Tears. "I learned racism from my father. From the department. From a culture that taught me to fear instead of protect. That taught me to suspect instead of serve. And I never questioned it. Never pushed back. Never stood up and said, 'This is wrong.' He wiped his eyes. Didn't care who saw. I can't fix what I've done. I can't give back the years Marcus Williams lost. Can't erase the trauma I caused Drive Thompson. Can't undo the fear I put in Agent Foster's eyes when I pointed my gun at her. But I can do one thing. I can tell the truth. The full truth." He looked directly at the camera. "I'm working with the FBI now. Cooperating fully. I'm going to help expose the systemic racism in the Riverside Police Department. I'm going to name names. Share stories. Reveal the culture that creates cops like me. And I'm going to spend whatever time I have left trying to make sure no other cop becomes what I became." Marcus folded the paper. "To everyone I hurt, I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. Words will never be enough. But I need you to know. I see it now. I understand now. And I will spend the rest of my life trying to make this right. He stepped back from the podium. The crowd erupted, some booing, some clapping, most just shouting, a mix of anger and confusion and, something else. Maybe surprise. That a cop had actually admitted it. Actually taken responsibility. Agent Foster stepped forward to dismiss the press conference. But before she could speak, someone else walked up to the podium. A black woman, early 50s, sharp suit, commanding presence. She moved like someone used to being in charge. "I'm Chief Denise Morgan," she said into the microphone. The crowd went quiet. "As of 8 a.m. this morning, I am the new chief of the Riverside Police Department. And I want to be very clear about something." She looked at Marcus. Her expression was hard. Marcus Reed's confession changes nothing about his firing. He will face every consequence of his actions. Criminal charges if warranted. Civil suits. Complete loss of his law enforcement career. There will be no leniency. No special treatment. No second chances in this department. The crowd cheered. Marcus felt his stomach drop. He'd known this was coming, but hearing it. However, Chief Morgan continued, and the crowd quieted again. However, what Mr. Reed did today was necessary. Painful but necessary. Because silence protects nothing but the guilty. And this department has been silent for too long. She pulled out a document. Held it up. This is a list of 37 officers currently under internal investigation. 37. For racial profiling, excessive force, false arrests, all against people of color. This investigation started 6 months ago. Quietly, carefully, building cases, gathering evidence. She paused. Let that sink in. The Riverside Police Department has been broken for a long time. Generations. And today we begin fixing it. Every officer on this list will be reviewed. Those who violated rights will be fired. Those who covered up violations will be fired. Those who perpetuated a culture of racism. She looked directly at several officers standing in the crowd. Will be fired. Marcus saw the faces of cops he knew. Cops he'd worked with. Their expressions ranged from shock to fear to rage. This is not a witch hunt, Chief Morgan said firmly. This is accountability. Real accountability. The kind that should have happened years ago. Decades ago. And if that makes some of you uncomfortable, good. Because comfort is what allowed this to continue for so long. She looked back at Marcus. Mr. Reed's cooperation will be noted. His honesty today will be noted. But it does not absolve him. It does not make him a hero. It makes him someone who finally stopped running from the truth. And in this department, that's the bare minimum we should expect. Chief Morgan stepped back, started to walk away, then stopped, turned back to the microphone. One more thing. To every black resident of Riverside who has been stopped, harassed, brutalized, disrespected by officers who were supposed to protect you. Her voice softened. I see you. I believe you. And I promise you, things are going to change. Not overnight. Not perfectly. But they are going to change. Because I will not lead a department that terrorizes the people it serves. Change doesn't come from good intentions. It comes from hard truths spoken out loud, no matter how much they hurt. Chief Morgan walked off the platform. The press conference dissolved into chaos. Reporters shouting questions. Officers arguing. Citizens celebrating. The whole thing was falling apart. Agent Foster grabbed Marcus's arm. Come on. We need to get you out of here. They moved quickly toward an unmarked car. But before they reached it, someone called out. Reed. Marcus turned. A black man was pushing through the crowd. Late 30s. Suit and tie. Expensive watch. He looked familiar. The man reached them. Stopped. Looked Marcus directly in the eyes. My name is Marcus Williams, he said quietly. The one your father arrested. The one who lost 4 years. Marcus felt like he'd been punched. I'm so sorry. What my father did. Stop. Marcus Williams held up his hand. I didn't come here for your apology. I came here to tell you something. Something you need to hear. He stepped closer. His voice was low, intense. I spent 4 years hating your father. 4 years planning what I'd say if I ever saw him again. How I'd make him understand what he took from me. My childhood. My innocence. My trust in the system. He paused. But your father died 3 years ago. Heart attack. And I never got to confront him. Never got to make him see me as a person instead of a criminal. Marcus's throat was tight. He hadn't known his father had died. They'd been estranged for years. Since Marcus was 25 and found out about things. Things his father did. Things Marcus had tried to forget. So when I saw that video of you, Marcus Williams continued, when I saw you do the exact same thing to Agent Foster that your father did to me. I felt sick. Because I realized it wasn't just your father. It was the whole system. Fathers teaching sons. Cops teaching cops. Generation after generation of the same poison. I know. I'm trying to. I'm not finished. Marcus Williams's voice got harder. You stood up there and apologized. You admitted what you did. And you know what? It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't give me back my teenage years. Doesn't erase the trauma. Doesn't undo the damage. He leaned in close. But it's a start. It's more than your father ever gave me. More than most cops ever give their victims. So I'm going to tell you something, and you better listen good. Marcus nodded. You want to make this right. Really make it right. Then don't just cooperate with the FBI. Don't just testify. Don't just expose the bad cops. Marcus Williams's eyes burned with intensity. You dedicate your life to this. Every single day. You wake up and you fight against what you were. You teach. You speak. You make sure no other kid spends 4 years in a cage because a cop couldn't see past his skin color. I will. I promise. I don't want your promise. Marcus Williams pulled out a business card. Handed it to Marcus. I want your presence. I run a civil rights organization. We work with communities. With families affected by police violence. We need someone who can talk to cops. Who can get through to them in ways we can't. Someone who's been on the inside. Marcus looked at the card. You want me to work with you. I want you to earn your redemption. Real redemption. Not the kind that comes from one press conference and cooperation with the feds. The kind that comes from years of hard work. Facing the people you hurt. Listening to their pain. Learning from it. He turned to walk away. Then stopped. Looked back one more time. My mother used to say something. She said, hate is easy. Forgiveness is hard. But transformation is the hardest of all. So transform, read, or don't. But if you do, if you really do, then maybe your father's legacy won't be the only thing people remember about the Reed family. Marcus Williams disappeared into the crowd. Marcus stood there, holding the business card. His hands were shaking. His eyes were wet. But, for the first time in 2 days, he felt something other than shame. He felt purpose. Agent Foster touched his